Vance was at one point very critical of Trump, calling him, quote, unfit for office.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but my worry with Trump is that he set my grandfather on fire. He seems like a disgusting toddler. Donald Trump can't win any fight against wet noodles.
He called him a, quote, cynical a-hole.
There is definitely an element of Donald Trump's support that has its basis in racism or xenophobia.
I never liked him.
I didn't vote for Trump, but you have to pretend to be somebody you're not to get good jobs in Washington, D.C. This isn't being recorded, is it?
Trump was the loud, unqualified guy who was never afraid to say something ridiculous. Those aren't my words. That's how Trevor Noah described Trump on The Daily Show, and boy did Trump lose his mind over it. In this video, we're diving into the epic meltdown that followed after Noah compared Trump and JD Vance to peanut butter and broken promises. You won't believe Trump's reaction when Noah called out Vance as the quieter, more insidious version lurking in the background. The political drama gets juicy fast. Ever wonder what happens when a Fox News host actually does their job? Brett Baier gave us a rare treat when he cornered JD Vance on live TV. Fox News isn't exactly known for hard-hitting journalism with their own team, but Baier pulled out the receipts that made Vance sweat through his suit. Let's look at what happened. Baier pulled up Vance's old tweets where he called Trump terrible and proudly declared himself a never-Trump guy. As Baier read these words back to Vance, you could literally watch the man's face change colors faster than a mood ring on a hormonal teenager.
Do you view Vice President J.D. Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people.
That's like been the fastest and the most stuff
Well,
happening.
we've done so much so fast, and we really had to, because they have really, what they've done to our country is so sad. It's so sad. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early. We're just starting.
But by the time you get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an endorsement.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the president.
Vance tried so hard to distance himself from his own words. It was like watching a 5-year-old with chocolate all over his face, insisting he never touched the cookies. My views have evolved, Vance claimed, which is political speak for, I realized kissing Trump's butt could get me more power. And the best part was Vance's body language. His eyes kept darting around the studio like he was searching for an emergency exit. His hands fidgeted. His posture screamed, please change the subject, while Baier just kept pushing. There was this perfect moment when Vance realized he couldn't talk his way out. His own words were right there on the screen for everyone to see. What Vance didn't know was that Trevor Noah was watching this train wreck interview and loading up his comedy cannon. Baier had confronted Vance with tweets where he'd compared Trump to America's Hitler and said Trump was leading the white working class to a very dark place. This perfect setup teed up Noah's comedy takedown. But if Vance thought Brett Baier was tough, he wasn't ready for what Trevor Noah had in store.
The president's new tariff policy, and when I think about what he got elected.
Ask ourselves, what has the globalist economy gotten the United States of America? And the answer is fundamentally it's based on two principles. That is not a recipe for economic prosperity, it's not a recipe for low prices, and it's not a recipe for good jobs in the United States of America. Incurring a huge amount of debt to buy things that other countries make for us. And to make it a little bit more crystal clear, we borrow money from Chinese peasants to buy the things those Chinese peasants manufacture.
What happens when a comedian gets handed political hypocrisy on a silver platter? Trevor Noah didn't just tell jokes about Trump and Vance. He performed a public service by exposing their nonsense with humor. When Noah started his segment on the dynamic duo, the audience was already giggling, but then he dropped his perfect description, Trump as the loud, unqualified guy who was never afraid to say something ridiculous, versus Vance as the quieter, more insidious version lurking in the background while pretending to be the voice of reason. That comparison hit so hard, the audience couldn't stop laughing. Noah didn't even need to write his own jokes. Trump's behavior did that for him. Remember when Trump brought Elon Musk to the White House? Noah nailed it. Trump brought Elon Musk to the White House. They bring a Tesla, and Trump's like, I'm buying a Tesla with my own money. And the man did a full-on infomercial. Noah added, I'm like, this is the president of the United States, yep, shilling cars. The crowd nearly fell out of their seats when Noah said, "Trump and Vance go together like peanut butter and broken promises." People were howling because they knew it was true. These two talk big about helping regular folks while doing the opposite. Noah described Vance perfectly as that guy who insists he's just a regular guy while walking around with an oversized SUV and a gold watch that probably costs more than your monthly rent.
Immigration. From the start of Trump's time in office, his administration has been working hard to shut that shit down. So it's a scary time to be an immigrant in America. In fact, it's gotten so bad that during the World Cup, all the announcers on Telemundo have started whispering, like he passes to the winger and goal. They cut down on visas, they kicked out refugees, they screwed over the DACA kids, and even ramped up deportations.
The best part was when Noah called Trump a cliched villain, saying he looks like a villain, talks like a villain, like he should be in a Scooby-Doo episode with that face. But the real fireworks were just beginning, as Trump's reaction to being compared to a cartoon villain was exactly what you'd expect from, well, a cartoon villain. Why does the most powerful man in MAGA world get so triggered by a comedy show? Trump's skin is so thin you could probably read a newspaper through it. When Noah's jokes started making the rounds online, Trump did what Trump does best. He went full keyboard warrior. His Truth Social account lit up like a Christmas tree with all caps rage posting. Trevor Noah is the most unfunny person on television. Trump screamed into the digital void. Nothing says, "I'm not bothered," like typing in all caps about how not bothered you are. Trump's counterattack was comedy gold itself. He called Noah unfunny while having the exact thin-skinned reaction Noah joked about. It's like getting mad at someone for calling you angry. Trump couldn't help himself. Then came the awkward part. Trump dragged Vance into his temper tantrum, putting his VP pick in the weird position of having to act offended about comedy jokes. Vance had to pretend to be outraged while probably thinking, "Please stop drawing attention to this." Trump tried his classic distraction moves too. Suddenly, he was talking about ratings, the economy, and Noah's accent. Anything to avoid the actual jokes that hit too close to home. His supporters piled on, creating this weird army of people fighting against comedy. Imagine getting this angry about jokes. In follow-up interviews, Trump couldn't stop talking about Noah, giving the comedian free publicity and proving the jokes struck a nerve. What really set Trump off was Noah comparing him and Vance to a disastrous buddy cop movie where they make a mess and convince followers it's part of the plan. Noah exposed their fake populism while they push policies helping only rich folks. When comedians can trigger this level of meltdown from powerful politicians, maybe we should pay more attention to what they're saying. When Noah compared Trump and Vance to peanut butter and broken promises, he wasn't just cracking jokes. He was using comedy to show how these guys say one thing and do another. That's why Trump got so mad. The truth hurts. Comedians like Noah are modern-day truth tellers. They say the stuff regular news folks are too scared to say, and boy does it work. Nothing makes a politician angrier than being laughed at. Trump's meltdown proves Noah hit the bullseye. When politicians throw tantrums over jokes, it usually means the comedian nailed it. The biggest egos have the thinnest skin.